who knows how to walk the mysterious path of Ifa is the one who knows the face of the divination tray. Ifa was cast for Orunmila when he sought to know the secret of the world. He saw that there are people who are happy, who are sad. There are people who are healed and people who are diseased. There are people who are hurting and people who are happy. And he wanted to know, what's the secret to success in this life? What is the secret that I can know so that I can help people, so that I can raise people and elevate people? And so he went to his awos, and they cast, and they found that he had to do an ebo, and that ebo was to prepare a she-goat and take it, the internal organs, to the forest, to lay it there, and then go hide. Do it in the middle of the night. And he did that ebo, and he went to hide. And in the middle of the night, shortly after he laid his offerings down, a woman came, elderly. She moved through with mysterious power, and she began to eat and consume the offering that was presented. And when she was finished, she called out to Orunmila, Orunmila, I know you are there. Come. He came, he humbled himself, and she said, the secret to the world lies in the hands of women. Joy and sorrow, honor and disgrace, love and hatred, it all rests with women. She looked deep into his spirit and she said, never underestimate a woman. No matter how small, how quiet, how unseen she may seem, she carries the power to shape worlds. Aburu, Aboye, Aboshishe. Oriye, yeo. Omio. Yepa Orisha. Yepa Oya. Yemo Odua. Okun Lolori Omi. Gbogbo Awaniyami. Awaniyawa. I am so grateful to be here with my sisters, my mothers, my daughters, my aunties. I'm grateful to be with you today, and I'm grateful for this space. I'm grateful for Omi Shegun and her vision and the people that she's worked with, the women that have worked so hard to bring us together. We're all here, all these powerful, powerful women here today, unsupervised. They done let us come here, unsupervised. So we gotta take advantage of that. It's beautiful because when I came into this tradition, it wasn't always easy to come together like this. Folks were doing everything that they could to contain women. And there was a lot of hostility, especially coming with Iyanifa's coming. There was a lot of hostilities, resentment, subtle microaggressions. They suggested that it was a fad and people were scammed. People were even afraid to say Iyami, Aje. And those who did, there were some who were persecuted. When I started learning about Iyami, it was through dreams, and I had no one here that spoke English that could talk to me about it. And the first woman that did, I don't know if she's here today, but she lives in Atlanta. She had written about it, and I apparently had found one of her old websites. And when I did, it took me a long time to track her down because I couldn't find her, because she had gone underground, because she was so persecuted for the things that she was saying, for the things that she was calling out with regard to Yami Naje. So this right here is like a dream, and I'm so glad to see it. I'm so glad to see it. I want to talk a little bit about history, both here, both in Africa a little bit, because this is Women's History Month, and we should know a little bit about some of the history. Some of you know, some of you don't know, some of you don't know to the extent. But when I asked about what we needed to know this day, what I needed to say, it was that. It was something that was messages that I was giving years ago. In 2007 or so, there were women that tried to come together under Chief Fama. It was supposed to be a women's conference, and it was, but it was supposed to be women only. And yet, there were some Babalawos who were very, very upset. They weren't happy with their wives going, and they inserted themselves into this women's only space. And because of that, many considered it a challenge. There were conflicts, there was drama. And so some of those things and some of the aspirations were kind of softened down. And a few years later, another group of elders, and I was a part of that, created Iwa. The funny thing is, it wasn't the Iwa that only Sheku created. It was Iwa for Ifa Women's Association. It was an organization to bring women together, for us to establish fundamental ethics, because we saw that there were things that were going on and we needed a base. But y'all know how we as women, we multitask far too much. We do what we have to, but time and energy and circumstance just didn't allow it to thrive at that time, so it died down. But each thing taught us a lesson. Each generation taught us a lesson of resilience, because we got stronger. We learned who we were and who we were not. And today is a great blessing, because another generation of women have helped now to elevate us all. And we're here. We're here. And I'm beyond grateful for the opportunity to be here, unsupervised. Sankofa teaches us that if we forget our past, we are doomed to repeat it. So, in learning about our past, I want to start with something that Obara Meji says. It was a woman who lifted Orunmila, a woman who carried the world. A woman is the key to the earth, and a woman is the key to a room. We understand that there was a time when women didn't just follow tradition and culture, we shaped it and created it. We didn't rely on men to define, interpret, authenticate, or validate our ashe. We knew we were born with it. Our bodies, our dreams, our bloodlines, our menstrual cycles, our childbirth, our motherhoods, our auntiehoods, our menopause, whispered Odu. Our wombs were and are Odu. History reveals to us that women had their own political parties, heads of states, spiritual leaders, heads of egbays, Orisha egbays, and it's documented that women in the past were carriers of Ifa, initiated others to Ifa. There were female Obas and Alafins and an Oni. Onilowo Bagida was the 21st Oni in Ile Ife, and she was a woman. Women had their own councils and priesthoods and women societies. Iyalodes were heads of all the female constituencies of a town. They were political posts, not just cultural or honorary ones. We had towns of women that had no men at all. And the mysteries of Obaship were held with women and in women's societies. Every Oba to this day has to be authenticated by women, by young. So what happened? Colonialism and slavery, and they weren't just physical invasions, they were spiritual ones. They were spiritual ones that also exalted patriarchy. Over time, those ideals became infused into the culture, both in Africa as well as in the diaspora, to the point where it was difficult to tell where the line was. Just as they separated us as melanated people to keep us from uniting, both in Africa and here, patriarchal regimes also separated women for the very same reason. They knew that separated women are easier to control and manipulate. Individual power, no matter how strong, cannot match indivisible Ashe. Not as a collective. But they couldn't divide from the outside if it wasn't a division from within. And it is from within that some of these women's societies sowed the seeds of their own demise. History also reveals to us that women's secrets were held in the women's societies, and a rift formed within these societies. And this rift was driven by younger and elder women. The younger generation felt that the elders were holding these crucial secrets and guarding their power. Gatekeeping is what they call it now. They were guarding their power. And they wanted access to influence and power themselves. And the elder mothers didn't want to share the deepest mysteries to the young, recognizing they were vulnerable. And it was a vulnerability that was created not just within that group, but also within the town and the society. And they saw or felt that the younger women were less discreet, lacking discernment, discipline, and the things to properly guard the knowledge. These secrets held so much power, it held protection even of the land. You know, we have the ability to see what's coming long before it happens, and that ability gives you the ability to protect yourself. But when some of the younger women finally gained access to these mysteries, their husbands persuaded them to share this knowledge, that it will empower us as a couple. However, these husbands then betrayed their wives' trust by revealing the secrets to the elder men, to the chiefs. And once they got the secrets, they changed the laws. They made it taboo for women to practice their own traditions by themselves, unsupervised. It was a systemic shift in power, and they dismantled women's societies, some even by force. They dismantled them or dissolved them, absorbed them into male-dominated with patriarchal perspectives societies, or at minimum, supervised. Osamenji confirms this accounting. It reminds us that even Egungun belonged to women. It was Oduaz. And it was taken over by her husband, Obatala, who took it from her. Now, keep in mind, this is history. The verses have not just metaphor and theoretical ideas, they also reflect history and science and so on. So this is history, and this is not a reflection of the Irumole, of the primordials. This is a reflection of the society. This is a reflection of priests of Odua and priest of Obantala. So where women once danced the egungun and the gelede, now only men do. Only high-ranking women can know the mysteries. And the only place right now on the planet that women are still dancing their ancestral masquerades is Sierra Leone. Some of the women that were taken away from Yoruba land, some from Igbo land and others as well. But they came together and they ended up in Freeport, Sierra Leone. They were supposed to be shipped off to be slaves, but things changed and shifted, and they ended up staying there in Freeport, and they kept their societies. They created what was called the Sandy Society. And the Sandy Society to this day still dances their egungun. They still dance their masquerades. The women dance them themselves. And they are strong politically. They hold strong political power there. They're their own thing. Nothing is done. If they don't approve it, it ain't happening. It's not happening. So these are part of our history. Irosun Iwori reminds us that when a woman's essence is sold, the world is ruined. When a woman forgets she is the earth, the world breaks. When women's egg bays were destroyed, the community became vulnerable. Abrahamic faiths entered and inserted their patriarchy. The slave trade scattered us across the world to new lands, spread all over. Even colonialism took over the lands we left. And over time, the narratives of who we were and who we are changed with every generation. And we were left now feeling insecure, the need for validation in order to feel loved, valued, respected. And another important shift happened in regards to Iyami. Today, they tell us there are no Iyami initiations or inductions, when the truth is there is no initiation without Iyami. It's the women's mysteries that authenticate initiations. That's why we use the red parrot feather. It reflects the menses of women, the ashe of women. But now we think that men hold the mysteries when we are the mystery. The secret to the world is women. They can't divide us from the outside if there wasn't division from within. They were able to destroy our traditions, though, when we stopped uniting, when we stopped cultivating our ashe as women together, and we started being afraid and perceiving another woman's ashe as a threat to our own. When we began to identify power and superiority with not just being white or whiter, but being male. And we gave our power away so that today we distrust women more than men. And we support them far more than we support each other. And what has it produced in our traditions? What's it produced? Babas using their positions to exploit and sexually assault women in the name of Ifa, in the name of Orisha. Sometimes women doing the same. It produced Babas who use our ashe to build themselves up and make them look good, make them look like, hey, we support you, but they don't respect our insights, our divinations, our value, our wisdom. They prefer for us to be decorations than actual contributors. It produced translations and interpretations of Odu that diminish our power, depict us and our mothers as untrustworthy, unreasonable, crazy, angry. They depict Odu herself as hating you. Now, there's a difference when we hear translations and interpretations, because they don't always reflect the intended teaching. They can often be biased, and because they're being communicated through human beings, that human being can have a bias or cultural bias or patriarchal bias. And many of us see it, we hear it, and we intuitively, it's like something don't sit right when we hear it. We're like, right? But we don't say anything because the other thing it produced was our silence. Our silent compliance. We'll go tell a friend, girl, did you see did you hear what such and such said? Well, but we're afraid of being ostracized, so we don't say anything. And that fear is there because we don't have a community of women backing you. Strong. You don't have a strong community that can say, we together on this and we ain't having it. Because we're too divided ourselves. Oshatura tells us the truth, tells us to tell the truth. State the facts. So we got to be truthful. We got to be honest with ourselves about what this is. In order for us to fix it, we got to be straight up about it. It's the same as it was hundreds of years ago. They can't divide us from the outside if we weren't already divided within. We are divided because of jealousy, because of ego, because of selfishness. We want to compete instead of collaborate. We compete over popularity and followers and other people's husbands. Returning kindness with evil. We're dealing with backbiting and betrayal and resentment. When another woman gets recognized, there are ears who want to publicly shame young upcoming sisters to make themselves look better instead of teaching them. Feeling superior. You can clap if you need to. They want to feel superior to another sister because she knows more Yoruba or she knows something else that you don't know. We're chasing and sometimes buying titles rather than just doing the work. Hustling Ifa instead of healing with Ifa, with our Orisha, with whatever we bring. This is what's dividing us. This is what keeps us repeating cycles that plague us even into this century, the 21st century. And now, especially in the United States, it's crucial that we stop playing and get it right. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We have to understand that spiritual authority isn't found in titles and popularity. It's in how you treat people. It's in how we service our communities. It's in how we embody the teachings. Don't just preach it, live it. Community priesthood is a service tradition, not a serve me tradition. Our communities and people are in crisis. We need more spiritual healers, spiritual warriors, spiritual diviners and seers. Problem solvers, not problem makers. We got to focus more on less on appearance and more on embodying the teachings. More on healing and spiritual maturity, so we aren't perpetuating unproductive cycles again and again. We've got to move from individual to indivisible again. And I'm not trying to place blame just on us, because I know I've been there, but I know it's a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of abuse from men and women. From giving and not receiving, we're experiencing these things. We is tired. We're tired. We don't feel safe. Many are experiencing microaggressions daily at work, in our elays, maybe at home. Many raising families by themselves and having to be superwoman. We are exhausted and on empty. It's clear. But that is even more reason why we have to go back ourselves and remember what our mothers had. We have to start coming together again and restoring our women's only societies. Iledes, Egbeayes. Well, we can come together in safe space and restore ourselves and one another. Well, we can come together in mutual healing and learn from one another. Well, we can solve problems and address issues personally and also in our communities. This would allow us to feel empowered to challenge interpretations and translations that diminish us as women. We must reclaim the right to interpret our own experience and stop being the mouthpieces for men's interpretations of our experiences. Then we can take collective stances against improper behavior. When some of these babas who are abusers, we can say, they can get canceled. We can stop giving them our money. We can stop supporting them when they don't honor us, when they abuse, when they take advantage of their positions to manipulate. Now, I'm not talking about petty stuff. I'm not talking about you mad because of this. I'm talking about real abuse. Then we can mentor young women to be what our future generations need to be, because that's what it's all about. Too many elders have gone. Too many elders and elder mothers have died with no account of what they learned, of their ashe, of what they've done. Libraries are gone because sometimes they didn't have the opportunity, and sometimes they didn't want to share it. But we have to teach the younger. We have to teach our babies. We have to teach the younger ones and the newer initiates that are coming behind us. Because if we don't, who will? And younger women, new initiates, baby, save yourself some pain. Recognize the ashe and the experience of elder Iyas. Invite them in. Take them to lunch. Pay them as you would pay a baba. Stop devaluing them like men do. There are some powerful, powerful women, but after a while, we ain't chasing you. We're in the back watching. Those are the ones you want to seek out. Humble yourself and seek out the wisdom so that you can grow and be powerful and strong. I'm deeply blessed to have many female elders both on the continent as well as in the diaspora, and that is important. It's how we balance interpretations and translations. It's how we support each other instead of sabotaging one another. When we do that, we don't have to come together to beg for a seat. Why didn't you include us? We simply do what we do and we reclaim it together. The secret to the world lies in the hands of women. Joy and sorrow, honor and disgrace, love and hatred, it all rests with you. So today I am holding us all up to a mirror. Every sister here is a mirror to ourselves. And what we see in her is what is in ourselves. That is a divine principle. It's a reflection. She is a reflection. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's probably best you look to find the best in her so we can see it in ourselves. We need to forgive her, those that offended us or we thought they did or perceived them as such, and forgive ourselves for what we also didn't know, didn't understand. So now, I'm going to ask you to stand up. Now I want you to turn to the sister next to you. Both of them, if necessary, back and forth. But take one at a time and look them in the eye. In the eye. Hold her hand. Both hands. You need to do it in threes, do that as well. Repeat after me. Sister. You are the secret to the world.
You are the secret to the world.
The mystery is you.
The mystery is you.
And you are a reflection of me.
And you are a reflection of me.
I wish for you what I wish for myself.
I wish for you what I wish for myself.
May love, honor, and joy be ours.
May love, honor, and joy be ours.
Let us stand together as one.
Let us stand together as one.
Keep looking her in the eyes. Don't look at me. Eye contact. And say together, we will rise.
We will rise.
Ashe. Mon Dieu, thank you.
You know where the rest of it? Oh, man. Up this